Okay, lovely people, I am speaking to you now on day 5 of the EV rally, and I am on the way to the penultimate checkpoint, which is quite a challenge because it's over 95 miles away, and I currently have 96% state of charge, so I should be okay, but this is the one final slog of the GreenFleet Rally 2024 on an electric motorbike for the first time. I thought I'd just share a few thoughts really over the last week as I endeavour to get to the end point. I'm starting to lose my words already, but that's probably because I'm absolutely shattered. This has been a brutal endeavour. I have travelled the best part of 1,500 miles through rain and wind, motorways, A roads. I've had to navigate crashes and accidents, breakdowns, as you might expect, having travelled all the way around the country as we have this week. So, what have I learned? What have I learned on this rally? Well, let's answer some of the obvious questions that people always ask me. Let's work those ones first, shall we? How far does an electric motorbike go? Well, this particular beauty, which is the Zero Motorcycle DSRX Black Forest Edition adventure bike, can comfortably do 130 miles. I know this because I've done 1,500 miles in the last 5 days, albeit not in one sitting, apart from this one, which is quite a long one. So, like any electric vehicle, the more spiritedly you drive it or ride it, the more energy you will consume. But on a reasonably steady away rate and speed, most of the time, 120, 130 miles is a realistic ambition. Well, how fast can you charge your electric motorbike? Well, this particular model is AC only, so it's very similar to how you would charge your car at home on your driveway, if you have one, except I can get a little bit more out of this. So on a 3-phase AC supply, I can get up to 12.4 kilowatts, and I have been able to enjoy that level on several occasions around the public infrastructure so far this week. So I've been able to charge for 40-50 minutes here or there, stay somewhere between 20 and 80%, and be on my way, which has enabled me to keep going and keep up with the rest of the train. In fact, as I am talking to you right now, I don't know whether my front camera can see this, but just in front of me is an electric truck from DAF, Leyland DAF, who are also on the rally. And so here we are on the last day, me riding 2 wheels and then driving a truck. So how cool is that? We've got trucks, we've got bikes, we've got vans, we've got cars, of course, we've got 4x4s, and everything in between, which is absolutely incredible. So, yes, of course, how is your bottom? Yeah, that gets asked a lot. And miraculously, it's alright. I thought I'd be walking like John Wayne at this point, but in fact, I'm not. It's incredibly comfortable. I have been perfectly fine on the rear end department. On the overall body experience, well, I'm battered, if I'm honest. I'm absolutely knackered. The wind, the rain, the crosswinds, the speeds, the distance, the endurance has all but broken me, but I'm somewhat buoyed at this point because I can see light at the end of the tunnel and we're nearly there. But it's been just a wonderful, joyous experience. And whilst it has been testing at times, and I have sometimes thought about giving up, that didn't last very long because giving up, as people know, is not something I'm particularly good at, and I wanted to make sure that I did this for the boys at GreenFleet, for Sarah and for everybody. I wanted to make sure that we could prove that a rally of 1,500 miles across the whole country in 5 days can be done on 2 wheels. And hopefully, if nothing goes wrong over the next 100, I will be able to have proven that. Would you do it again? There's the question. Would you do the rally again on 2 wheels, Sam? At this point in time, maybe next year I might just think about doing it again, depending on what we do next year. How have you found the public charging infrastructure for a motorbike? Pretty good. I think I can safely say, yes, thinking about it out loud now, every single charger I have attempted to use over this week has worked. Some of them have not been as powerful as I would have liked, and therefore I've moved on. But I have not experienced a failed charger in the last 5 days, and I think that's pretty impressive. Why are you stupid enough to be running 5k as well? Well, I shall tell you. occurred to me, alongside my dear friend and partner Sarah Sloman, that we would run 5k every day as well. And why would we do that? Because firstly, actually it's been quite useful to get out, get off the saddle, stick on the shorts and the running shoes and the t-shirt and just go for a run. Just expel a bit of exercise in a different sort of way. But more importantly than that, we have run 5k in 5 days for Crisis, and that is the homeless charity that is doing great work trying to support those who are considerably less fortunate than ourselves. Anything that I can do and all the rest of the guys can do to support that fight is good for me. So we will be have been raising money, and we will continue to do so. So if anyone that is still listening to this after all my ranting, then please do donate a £5. To you, that's nothing. To somebody who's on the street, that might be everything. That might be the difference. Why are you doing this? Well, I think there's two good reasons. The first good reason is I had an amazing time last year on the rally, 5 capital cities in 5 days with beautiful Linda Grave, and we drove around in a lovely Audi Q8 e-tron for the entire time, and it was easy. I had a lovely time, but it was easy. So I thought this year, what is the hardest thing that you can do? What would be the most challenging thing to do? And so I thought, well, no one's ever done 2 wheels, and the market is still in its early stages. So why don't we do something that proves that long-distance EV riding can also be done? And I'd like to think, based on what we've achieved this week, we've proven that it does work and it can be done. I mean, you don't have to do 1,500 miles in a week to do it either. You could comfortably do 300 or 400 miles over a weekend without a problem, with just a little bit of planning. Just work out a couple of charge points that you might want to stop at en route, or a hotel or an Airbnb that might have a charge point you can use overnight. It's doable. It's doable to do it, enjoy it, and have a good time doing it. And next question, what's this vehicle to load stuff all about? Well, I will tell you. So, Lorna McAteer, National Grid Fleet Manager, had a great idea. She said to me, if you're struggling for charge every night because the hotels don't provide a charging socket yet, they need to, they should do, but they don't, why don't we use the Kia EV6 as our support vehicle that has vehicles to load, which means it can charge something else off a 3-pin socket adapter. So for the last 5 nights, I have tipped up at the hotel with nothing more than 10 or 12% state of charge left, and with virtually no effort, we have plugged it in to the car, and we have consumed energy from the car into my motorbike, which means at the beginning of every morning I have arrived to the bike with 100% state of charge. The car, on the other hand, has therefore lost around 17%. So for it doesn't really make much difference. It takes a few minutes to replace that energy when it goes to the public charger, but for me it's everything. For me, it has made this rally work because I haven't had to worry about charging at the end of every night. I've just charged off the car. So that is a result. What has been the biggest challenge? Well, the biggest challenge I can say with absolute certainty is a mental one. This has been one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. I've had to absolutely find resolve I didn't think I had in order to keep going, because it has been mentally tough, but also physically tough. One of the things on the bike that I didn't know how important it was going to be is cruise control. So here is my right hand. I should have it on the handlebars I grant you, and I will do for safety, but I don't have to hold on for grim life every single minute of every day, because I can set the cruise control and give this hand a rest. Because if it wasn't for that, this arm would be falling off right now. So that's great. So that's one of the functionalities that I just couldn't have done without. In fact, vehicle to load, as I said before, and cruise control are the two things that, without it, I wouldn't have been able to do the rally. The support has been off the scale. Thank you to National Grid, to Matt Doherty, to Hind, and to Lorna McAteer, and all the people at National Grid who have been incredible and allowed me to do this. Thank you to GreenFleet for all of their efforts as well in terms of planning this wonderful event, which gets so much
attention. And the biggest thanks has got to go to the most wonderful and beautiful lady that is Sarah Sloman, who's without her support and her advice and guidance, I would not have succeeded in this challenge. So thank you to the most wonderful woman in the world. So if you have been, thank you for listening to this. But I am now going to go back to concentrating on the road, because I've got to get this beautiful bike to the end of the rally in one piece. I've got to get myself back in one piece, and I've got to go give everybody who supported me on the rally a bloody big hug, because I am so very grateful for everyone's support. So bye for now, and I will see you at the finish line.